everybody, and welcome back to the Geek Authorities, opinions, reviews, and commentaries. I'm Lorenzo Marchessi. Everything said here is my personal opinion, no one else's. So, I just want to express some ideas and opinions and feelings that I have about certain things. One of my passions, and it has been since probably before grade school, in terms of, okay, I'm going to date myself, used to collect 45s and LPs, was I love to collect soundtracks, scores to motion pictures, television shows, radio shows that I was aware of. There were serials that, they had recorded on radio and you could get on vinyl or whatever. That was amazing. If you've never heard a radio show, you should check some out, or they're on Amazon, that kind of thing. But I love scores and soundtracks. I became very, very attracted to particular composers, to particular styles of music, but I have been collecting for that long. When CDs came along, I had to recollect because a lot of my stuff were digitally transferred to higher quality and stuff. And I understand even here in the year 2020, people are going back retro to the actual vinyl again with the crackly needle and all that. I don't get that because I love listening to a pristine score and soundtrack. Well, with that said, the downside of this commentary is I'm hoping, because of legal things and ASCAP and BMI and all that other stuff, and YouTube and whatever, and probably in some sense it makes sense, but not to me. I can't expose you to some of the pieces of the scores of my favorite composers, or pieces that you wouldn't think were either beautiful or moving or passionate or whatever, because of copyright infringement. I'd literally have to go to all the studios or the composers or the lawyers or the agents or the managers to say, can I play 5 seconds of this? And I have so much that I want to expose to you. I can only do it visually because I've got some album covers and things, CD covers, that you can check out if you have the time or the interest, and you were thinking about checking out scores, or you have always loved scores but you never thought, wow, I could listen to that while I'm reading or while I'm writing or doing something. I have written so many things while listening to scores, and sometimes the pieces that I listen to are inspiring, and comedy or drama or passion, or that the music moves you. Whether or not you see the scene or remember the scene from the movie, or you hear something from a score for the first time, there's a little bit of movement, and you could tell by the pace of the piece, or the instruments that are used, or the tonality of all the musical instruments put together, kind of are evoking some sort of passion, inside people who listen. And I dare you to find one of your favorite films and turn the sound off, because you obviously can't just turn the music off, but turn the sound off and see if say the scene from Star Wars where they're doing the TIE fighter battles with the X-Wings and all that, and see if that scene works just as well with no music. It's you can't imagine it. So anyway, moving forward, I want to introduce you to some of my favorite composers and some of the scores that really moved me throughout the years. Some are old, some are new, most are in the past, and I'll highlight a few composers, of course, and then hopefully you'll check them out. If you see a used CD stand and you see a score that I've mentioned here, pick it up for $1 or whatever and check it out. The worst case scenarios, you never listen to it again. Best case scenario, you find a piece of music that you want to listen to when you're in this particular mood. Anyway, with that said, let's move forward. I'm going to share some screens here. Let's start off. I'm going to start off with my all-time favorite composer. For me, that has been and always has been Mr. Jerry Goldsmith. Jerry's been around for a long time. He's composed probably over, I want to say 200 or plus scores, but I'm not going to give you all their history and awards and all that, but this guy is really good. He captures a scene. He can do comedy. He can do all kinds of fun things, as well as emotional, heartbreaking, I'm going to, rip your heart out, squeeze it a little, step on it, put it in a blender, chew on it, throw it in the microwave, and, step on it again. it's just, he's very, very good at what he does. Now, what are some of the samples of his works? Well, if you've ever seen Poltergeist, you think, ooh, scary, ooh, no. It's a subtle, it's a haunting, haunting is the best word. He uses a vocal chorus in this score. Caroline's theme, which is the main character, the one in front of the TV there, the little girl, I won't tell you the movie, has an experience. And whenever you see her, her theme is just so emotional and amazing. I can't go on enough about it. Rudy, kind of an underdog story, a football fan turned football supporter turned football player. Amazing score, very emotional, very melodic, powerful when it needed to be. Just really, really cool score for to listen, even if just for background. Outland, okay, Sean Connery, action adventure, and yes, there's heart-pounding music. There's a score for space. There's a score for the mystery. There's like people kind of tracking each other and chasing each other, and he does a really good job of suspenseful motivation. This is one of my favorites. He is very good at marches. The Air Force One President March in this score is amazing. Every time Harrison Ford, as he's playing the president, does something heroic, you hear that score and you think, you know, you're cheering him on. The music just makes you, yes, every time you see it. And when you listen to it without the movie, it's like, you know, you get this rush of power and empowerment. That's a better word. Okay, of course, Jerry did Star Trek The Motion Picture, which was later used for Star Trek The Next Generation score, but it's one of my favorite scores. This is the deluxe edition with every drop of music that was used in the film. The first edition just had the basic couple tracks, but this one's got the entire movie score, and it's it's the last film, just for trivia, it's the last film ever to have an overture prior to the film starting, meaning there was just music. The curtain opened up and you heard Ilea's theme for 3 minutes, just with nothing there. Films like Gone with the Wind and Ten Commandments, they all had that as well, but a couple others. But this was the last film to actually do that, and then it would give you that heart-pounding theme that is Star Trek that Jerry composed. Okay, this is one of my favorites. I believe this is one of the ones he won the Academy Award for. This is a March one again. It's about General Patton, George C. Scott, and it's incredible. Let me tell you, it's the flutes, the horns, the drums, the bass. It's just it makes you do that when you listen to it. It's that emotionally powerful. He came back after doing the motion picture in '79, and I believe this is, oh God, I don't know when this is. I want to say the early 90s, Star Trek V. This is not a great film. They call it Star Trek V, The Search for Shatner, but it's a wonderful score. There's a thing where they do the El Capitan climb, and the El Capitan has a theme, and it's beautiful. It's just, all I can say, it's absolutely beautiful. Okay, everyone has probably seen at least one of the 1912 Alien movies, and this was the first. He was the one that composed that score that scared the out of you, because it was scary. It was like he gave the ship a theme, he gave the alien a theme, and it's one of those soundtracks you listen to, and without being aware of it, you're thinking about it. Not necessarily the movie, but it's like, oh, this is kind of cool, eerie but cool. Okay. Ooh, Signed. This is probably one of my top 3 scores that he's done. Jerry Goldsmith did Logan's Run. It's one of my favorite films of all time, sci-fi films. Michael York, Jenny Agutter, and this score is amazing. He used electronic music with orchestral sounds and created this really unique sound. And there's a love theme that he himself plays piano on, and it's a brilliant kind of composing piece of the theme for the movie. So he kind of made a pop version of it. I don't think it was ever released, but it was nice that he included it, and it's a really cool song. And this is an amazing soundtrack for a lot of reasons. Technology versus, the mixing with the actual orchestral pieces and strings and stuff. It was a really good score. Oh, there it is again. And Legend. Now, people who don't know, if you saw the movie with Tom Cruise, Legend was a film that was for America, scored with Tangerine Dream. But everywhere else in the world, Jerry Goldsmith was asked to do the actual score. Personally, I love Tangerine Dream. They've done some really cool stuff and soundtracks. But when I saw it with Jerry's score, it made much more sense and had a little bit more passion to it, you know, because I'm into strings, where Tangerine Dream is more electronic based. I would always take a full orchestral score versus an electronic mix because I just love that fullness a score can give you, and that's an amazing soundtrack as well. Yep, Sylvester Stallone, First Blood. Believe it or not, I love this score. Not a big fan of the movie or the series of movies, but excellent score for those who like action again, adventure. There's a little bit of drama and melodrama in there as well. Runaway, old film. Tom Selleck. It's when he was a Magnum PI days, and they gave him, this one role, and didn't do very well. But the score is pretty incredible. There's some action running scenes that you're like, this could be actually, released as a single. There's no words, of course, but it's full orchestra. So much fun. This is again probably one of my probably in my top 5. Supergirl. Now, movie was not a great success like Christopher Reeve's was. Helen Slater playing the title lead, but the score, her theme, is amazing, and he sprinkles it throughout the soundtrack in various forms, kind of a love theme, and then a funny theme, and then an action adventure. But the main score, Jerry was very good at getting across. This is a woman of power. This is a woman from another planet, and she means business. And like Superman, which was composed by John Williams, it's very memorable, and it's one of those tunes you can walk out of the theater, or I did, humming it. And then if you listen to the score, I guarantee you'll be doing exactly the same. I think another Runaway. Total Recall. Wonderful film, sci-fi based film, Arnold Schwarzenegger's lead. Excellent soundtrack. Very modern, very mixed with a little bit of technical, but the score, the theme, his theme, the theme for the entire opening was incredible. You'll remember that. Okay. This is Mr. James Horner, the late, great James Horner. He passed away in an accident, but the scores this man has done, I'm sure you've heard of him or seen him or will remember him. Of course, one of the originals he did early on in his career is Krull. It's an amazing score. The theme to the movie, the theme to the horse, wind horse something. Fire horses. That's right. They run on fire and stuff. He did an amazing job, especially with that opening. I really I'm sad that he's gone, because really creative genius when it came to the music. One of my favorite films of all time, The Rocketeer. Excellent score. And for a bit of trivia, I don't know if they still do it now, but when El Capitan opened in Hollywood, California, their curtain opening sequence used the theme in this movie as a kind of a grandeur. It's a really grandeur piece. The title theme is amazing. The little love romance that goes on in there, that theme is incredible. Willow, loved the soundtrack. Not a big fan of the film. Val Kilmer. What can I say about this one? Again, it's moving. It's uplifting. It's got a uniqueness. It's whimsical, if that's a good word you can use to describe music. Of course, everyone's probably seen or heard of Titanic. He was the one responsible for, yes, the main theme that Celine Dion sang, but also the entire score for the film. And it is pretty moving. There's 2 soundtracks for this. There's the one that, they generally release with the Celine Dion, music and all that. And then there's another one with just the score. That's the one you should get. Everything that's on the first one's on the second one, plus the rest of the movie that you didn't get on the first album. Wonderful movie. Robin Williams. It didn't get much acclaim when it came out, but again, wonderful score. James really pegged the android that is Robin Williams' character in terms of emotionally giving him that emotional, he's becoming aware, he's learning, he's becoming human. Cocoon, loved this movie, loved this theme. It's very unique theme. It's very simple. It's played throughout and in different versions. There's like a full orchestral thing. And then I'll give you a piece of advice. Whenever you listen to a soundtrack, most of the time you'll find an semblance of the score in one piece, usually called the end titles. What they do is they take either snippets or orchestral phrases of the various themes and put them all in one piece. And this particular one is pretty incredible. Another one of his early films, Battle Beyond the Stars, kind of a cult following. People love this film. It's fun. It's funny. It's got its moments. Richard Thomas from Little House on the Prairie, yes, did a space movie. But the score, again, great theme, great march, great, moving kind of powerful, uplifting score to it. Fun too. So again, this is great music to put on the background. You don't want, sometimes people, when they listen to music, they get distracted because they know the lyrics and they start singing and they don't do their work. This is the perfect kind of thing to relax you, number one, and put something in the background that you can feel without even being aware that it's moving you. Everyone loves Five-O, An American Tail. The little cartoon of the little mouse immigrant. The score is amazing. The tune that he gives Five-O, Mousekewitz, and even the popular song Somewhere Out There, he wrote. So, Legends of the Fall. Oh my God. Great film and wonderful score. This is one of those full, robust kind of, he used strings and all kinds of instruments to really give it that full, open air, beautiful experience. Aliens. Okay, Alien was done by Jerry Goldsmith, as I mentioned. Aliens was done by James Horner. Much different take. The movie was much different. This one was more action, adventure, and excitement. You're every turn around, every corner, something's attacking you. So, you were holding your breath, and James did an amazing score for that. And believe it or not, you can sit back and listen to that kind of score and be like, uplifted and moved, and it's a total different experience. If you listen to Jerry's Alien and James Horner's Aliens, you'll see two creative geniuses doing exactly what they need to for the film, and then creating these pieces of music that you could just listen to over and over. Avatar. James Horner did Avatar, the first one. I believe he did 2 and 3 as well before he passed, but I'm not sure on that. But Avatar is another wonderful score. It's moving. It's about life. It's about learning about the importance of the environment and so on and so forth. Incredible score. Okay, that's James Horner. John Williams probably has composed, 90% of the scores and themes that are in your head that you've either heard of or can remember. And of course, I want to hopefully show you some things you didn't know he scored for. John did the original Home Alone with Macaulay Culkin and Joe Pesci there. It's hysterical. It's what I liked about it, oddly enough, is he did a nice little take on some Christmas songs in an orchestral form, which I really like. They're subtle. They're really nice. This is kind of a album you want to put on at Christmas time because, believe it or not, there's some Christmas themes in it. And of course, he did the Star Wars. He did all of them, all 9 pictures, and a few other side projects regarding Star Wars. But I don't know what else to say. If you've never seen Star Wars or never heard the theme to Star Wars, at what point did you come to this planet? Anyway, next up is, in case you didn't know, most of the composers I'm showing you have compilations. And this particular one is a compilation. Dan Redfeld, I said that right, plays piano. And he takes all of a lot of John's themes and puts them on a piano piece. And it's a wonderful, wonderful piece to hear his music. I thought this would be a little bit of fun. I don't know if this exists because I tried looking for it on eBay, but someone did a mock-up of basically a 6-inch action figure of John Williams because he's been such a big part of the whole Star Wars universe. This has got to be one of my all-time favorite scores of his, Close Encounters. From note 1 to the last note on the score, it is incredible. It's got emotion, it's got passion, especially I was mentioning earlier the end titles. That end title sequence is I feel like I can fly after listening to that. Very exciting, very, very moving. And if you have the nice headphones and stuff, the orchestral sound is incredible. Far and Away, a Ron Howard film. He did the score for this. Really nice, melodic, with a little bit of passion in terms of some of the action that happens. Score that just, it's so nice to listen to. You know, you never guess it's John Williams, but lo and behold, it's got some beautiful tracks on it. Of course, there's another one of those iconic themes. He created the original. I don't believe he's doing all of the sequels, but it's his theme you hear in every one of the Jurassic movies and the Jurassic Ride. And who can forget the first time you see the dinosaurs, the two scientists, and they look up and there's that theme. Just moves you every time. Another one of my all-time favorite scores, and one of Spielberg's biggest films ever, is E.T., the Extraterrestrial. Again, it's one of those scores where it starts out subtle, gives E.T. a very specific theme, you hear it throughout, and then it just builds when E.T.'s running away or being chased or captured, or he actually dies, and then he comes back to life. It's just one of those, again, I can just say, uplifting films. In terms of marches, is there anything better? That's right, the Raiders March from all the films. He did all the Spielberg films involving Indiana Jones. This is the first one, Raiders of the Lost Ark. And of course, that march is absolutely iconic. Let me take it back a little tiny bit. Before John did big feature films, he was big in television. He was known as Johnny Williams, if you look at the credits, before he kept or changed it to using John Williams. But he did scores for Time Tunnel. One of my favorites is he did Lost in Space, Year 2. Year 2 is better than Year 1, although he did both, but Year 2's theme is the one that's upbeat and flashy, and it's got that memorable tune. Hook. Again, not a very popular movie in terms of critics or box office. It starred Dustin Hoffman and Robin Williams again. But the score, his theme, when Peter, he doesn't know he's Peter Pan yet, Peter learns that he is Peter Pan and learns how to fly, that whole rift of him coming to the realization and then launching as Peter Pan and starting to fly, that whole flight sequence. The score is, I put that on repeat just so I can hear that over and over. Again, who does a march better than this man? This man, John Williams, made an iconic audio stamp for this particular character. When you think Superman, although there's been many versions, many composers, many shows, TV, movies, whatever, there's only one that all you have to do is those dun, 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 and you're like, okay, Christopher Reeve. And the whole march thereafter, that whole 3-minute opening sequence in Superman the movie is amazing. And the love theme and the flying theme and this is one of those scores that you just not only does it uplift you, but it's iconic. You can't help hearing that theme and not thinking of Christopher Reeve, late great actor. And of course, there's the whole Harry Potter series. John Williams is responsible for all the themes, although I think he scored only 2, maybe 3 of the films himself. I think 2. It's his theme that's carried throughout. Oops, I hope I don't get in trouble for humming it. Anyway, it's great soundtrack. Okay, that's it for Mr. Williams. Okay, I want to introduce you to, this is one of my favorite composers as well, modern composers. His Alan Silvestri. Alan Silvestri has done some very memorable scores, and he's really good at action and tying themes, creating a theme and then tying it to the various scenes. And you might think that's redundant, but when the scene requires drama or suspense or comedy, or to take one theme and then make that work in that feeling is incredible. And what has he done, you ask? I chose this one because he did the original Back to the Future. He did all 3 of the films. And of course, the first one is, everyone's goo-goo about. But my favorite of the Back to the Future series is number 3. And why? He took that theme, and just when I thought you couldn't do anything more with a theme, main theme, it's set in the Western. Marty and Doc meet Clara back in the past in the 1800s. And he gives it this rodeo, Western cowboy kind of twist to it. And that sequence where the train is, they're about to push the train off so he can get back to the future, back home at the end of the film, is just this, there's 3 parts to it. It's the third part that's just, it's like 3 or 4 minutes long. Is amazing just listening to that. It's exciting, it's energetic, it's, you know, you want to vacuum to that. But anyway, and I'm not kidding. I mean, if you're not a fan or have never bought a soundtrack before, these are the kinds of experiences you can have by listening to them. Again, the worst case scenario is you listen to it once. The best case scenario is you plug it into your car, your phone, your house, your earbuds, your coffee pot, whatever, and you're enjoying it more than you think. Contact. Oh, another incredible score. Great film for me. This was the Carl Sagan translated film with Jodie Foster. It was incredible score. It's about, you know, first contact with aliens and how he leads up to the drama that is her, Jodie Foster's journey through it. The theme that they give, it's again, incredible score. There's the original Back to the Future. I've already talked about that, so we'll skip. Again, Back to the Future 3 is my favorite of the 3, and there's a deluxe edition too with 2 CDs, meaning the whole score. So it's everything's there. He did also Avengers Endgame, which I like the Avengers theme that was created, and then he kind of incorporated it to a little more versatility in terms of the scenes that were going on and the moments. And again, he knows how to take one theme and make it and dress it on anything. It's like, you know, a universal salad dressing. No matter what theme it is, he can make it fit, make it work. The Abyss. Oh my God, probably the top 3 of one of my favorite scores of his. It's incredible. It's an underwater adventure. Ed Harris is in it. It's a great film. James Cameron directed it. And the score to this is so complimentary. I cannot imagine this film without his score. And then when I listen to it on its own, it's like, oh my God, it's just so moving. You get this feeling of emotions as well as liquid and water and curiosity. There's an alien thing in there where everyone's like, is it dangerous? And it's just an incredible score. Flight of the Navigator, fun film from the 80s, early 80s, and just a really good film in terms of the time it was made. But the score is just incredible. It complements everything in it. It's fun, it's light. It's got this theme when they travel through space in this device that they create. It's one of those, wow. Okay, who doesn't love The Holidays? He did an amazing job for Polar Express. You got to admit, he's done most of Bob Zemeckis' films, if not all of them, I think. But this was a Bob Zemeckis film, as was Back to the Future and stuff. So this score is amazing. It's holiday. It's got holiday sprinkled and totally orchestral and light and uplifting, and it's just, you got to listen to it. Just listen to it. Volcano. This was a made-for-TV. No, was it made for TV? I don't know if it was made for TV directly or was actually released in the theater. I can't forget. It was not that great a movie, but the score again. He did a great job for when the city of LA gets a volcano in the middle of downtown, and yeah, wink, wink, and the score for that eruption and that whole everybody panicking, and the tar pits over there. It was so incredible. Yes, this was a fun one. The Mummy and The Mummy Returns. He did the whole Mummy series. It's fun. And Brandon, what's his name? Brandon. They do the deal with the seeing the Mummy for the first time, and they're actually being pursued by it, and it's a great little kind of a twist on an action scene, but with humor built in, because he's doing his best to avoid the mummy. Great score, great score. Okay, now this is the updated version of the Carl Sagan series called Cosmos. This is where Seth MacFarlane and I forget who the other producer is, got together and redid Cosmos to update it, Cosmos was in the 80s. Well, it's been, 40, 50 years since then, and science has learned a lot of new stuff, but keeping in the theme with how the universe is created and made and developed, and life and everything, and physics and mathematics. They redid it, and Alan did the score. And it is like the first one, which was took music from classical composers. This one is original score, which absolutely complements the science that you're watching. And it's a great little thing to listen to too, in terms of the melodies and the things that he created for it. Night at the Museum, he did, I believe he did all of them. I think there were 3. This is the series where, oh God, what's his name? I can't think of the actor's name. Anyway, he plays an attendant basically at a museum, natural history museum. And Alan Silvestri created these great little scores for Robin Williams' character and some of the little characters, the little miniature characters. It was just a fun piece. Very melodic, you wouldn't think, but so much fun. Okay, here's another one of my favorite composers. This is Michael Giacchino. He has done a lot of some of my modern current favorite scores, and he's really good. I got to see him in concert, got to meet him in person. A really nice guy, very, very fun, very down-to-earth kind of individual. Some of the scores he's created include the Spider-Man Far From Home, gave Spider-Man a new kind of modern, upbeat kind of theme, orchestrally, of course, and used that throughout. Ratatouille, one of the Pixar films, Disney, wonderful score about a mouse who could cook, and his best friend, a human, who tries to get him to cook in an actual French restaurant. Wonderful score, very funny, very melodic. Lost, you guys watch TV. He created the Lost theme as well as some of the reoccurring scores to it, and this particular score is amazing. Jurassic World, yes, he took Mr. John Williams' theme and gave it his own twist. Of course, the action scenes are incorporated to involve his signature kind of string situation, but occasionally sprinkling in the actual original John Williams score that everyone knows and loves as well. Jupiter Ascending, not a great film, but I really love the score. Again, it's one of these orchestral things, the strings, the horns, the symphony. It's just pleasure to listen to, and it's too bad the film didn't do as well. Up, again, another Pixar film. He's really popular with Pixar people. Wonderful score about an older couple. One of the partners in the couple passes away, and it's the older guy's adventure in relearning himself, his memories, and making a new friend along the way. But the score just complements everything I just said, and it's a wonderful piece to do something. If you're a writer, this is the kind of score you want in the background, because it can move you, and it's something that relaxes you, which is always a good thing. There's Star Trek. J.J. Abrams in 2009 redid Star Trek, rebooted it, and I thought very well. He got away from the worrying about the canon by creating another timeline, and he could do his own thing. But Michael's Giacchino's score to this is incredible. The theme to the Enterprise, the theme to the movie is phenomenal. Just memorable, original, and it comes in at the right moments. When you're listening to the score, you know that either when you hear the theme, depending on how it's incorporated, you know that one of the main characters or the ship or something is doing something heroic. It's an incredible score. Doctor Strange, back to the Marvel Universe. He likes, he gives everything its unique signature in terms of characters. He knows how to like give a character a tonal quality that's musically interpreted and put on a screen for the character. And when you listen to it without the movie, it's like, wow, this is, the arrangements, the design of the piece is just incredible. Spider-Man Homecoming, he did that was the one before the first one I showed you. So yeah, he gave Spider-Man his unique theme. War for the Planet of the Apes. Great series of films, modern films. Didn't get a lot of critical acclaim, but his score, again, for these apes and for the humans that were fighting the apes, and for when the disease, in the first film, when the disease was spread, it's really emotionally impacting, because these apes go through a lot. And if you're familiar with the originals with Charlton Heston, um, they were more action orientated, where these are more character driven kind of adventures. Coco, another Pixar, Disney film. It's one of those things when you find a composer that can culturally shift his gears. He gave us a very Hispanic, Latino feel to it. The music is original and fresh and emotional. I keep using that word, and it's just so good. It's like listening to it by itself is like, wow, this is, the string guitars mixed with the string violins, and it's a wonderful cultural piece to listen to that he composed. This is one of my fun ones. Again, Pixar, Disney, Inside Out. It's a great score. Imagine your emotions being broken up into 4 areas, and each of those 4 areas having a theme. Anger and joy and depression, and what was the other one? I forget what the 4th one was, but anyway, all of them having their own theme. And then in the movie, of course, they all go on their little adventures and deal with each other, but the score just follows along, and it's so fun and melodic. I just can't recommend it enough. Yes, he took the Craig Chafin theme back in the 60s and gave it a new spin. Kind of a modern rocky kind of tune to it, as is his score, but that famous beats, I don't want to get in trouble for humming it, not having permission to hum it, but yeah, it's one of those action scores that is great to have it behind you if you're need to relax, or you just want to listen to something and have it in the background while you're doing something else. Oh my God, I guess he's just contracted for Disney and Pixar. But The Incredibles, this is Incredibles 2. He also did Incredibles 1. Incredibles 2 has these mini themes in them for the various characters, superheroes in it, and they did little commercials, and he did the scores for them, and they're hysterical, and he wrote the lyrics. But the main theme of The Incredibles, in terms of their action hero, is fun, exciting, and very well composed in terms of what he did for the whole composition thing. This is Bruce Broughton. Again, one of my favorite composers. He's been around for quite a while. He did the main theme for The Orville, which is a new series that was on Fox, now on Hulu. Hulu. But the score to the main theme to the show is one of those Star Trek-y feel, but more orchestral and bold, and kind of reminded me of Galaxy Quest, but better, because he layers it with strings and horns and all kinds of fun stuff. What has he done? Again, another one of my favorite TV shows, Sequest. The opening theme, the main theme to Sequest is memorable. It's I call it magical. It also has that underwater feel, because the show is based on a submarine with Roy Scheider, and what an incredible score. And he sprinkles it throughout, and he did the pilot and maybe half the first season, and then other people, of course, pick up his theme and do the composition for later in the show, but using his theme. Oh my God, one of my favorite compositions is scores is The Boy Who Could Fly. This was, I remember watching it when I was a kid. I believe it was in the mid 80s when it came out, and such an emotional score, especially when this boy who can fly flies. It's uplifting, it's positive. It's something everybody should see, and then you should get the soundtrack just to put in the background whenever you're feeling kind of melancholy. This score will kind of make you feel better. It's one of those amazing scores. Bruce also did his hand of some Disney cartoons. This was a feature-length film, I don't know, 60, 80 minutes. I don't know if that's a feature length for Disney, but it's The Three Musketeers, done with Mickey. Great score. It's fun. It's jolly. It's got great use of the brass section. Full score. Full robust score. Okay, they rebooted Lost in Space, the TV series from the 60s, back in the 90s, with William Hurt as John Robinson. And the movie didn't do so well, but it's one of these scores by Bruce that is just, again, perfect themes, wonderful orchestral music. It's got the drama and the suspense when it needs it, but there's also that emotional impact of the father and the son connecting and all that kind of thing. It's really there and wonderful to see. Silverado, love this film. Again, Western twist. Bruce did a great little powerful punch to that Western theme and gave the scenes and the emotion in the movie that much more, especially to the action. Harry and the Hendersons, a comedy that's light and fun, just like the soundtrack. It's got its Harry theme, and it's melodic and cute in some places, but very, very, I don't want to say this, very fun is the only word I can think of in terms of listening to an orchestra play these themes. Try listening to it without watching the movie first, and when you see the movie, you'll see how much better it works. I didn't mention the Orville. That was him in the background. That's the score for it. He did the main theme and I think a couple of the episodes, but he's the one you got to give credit to when you hear the theme throughout the series. Presidio, wonderful movie, kind of mystery kind of thing. Great suspenseful kind of score, low key with thrusts of emotional drama and adventure happening. Stay Tuned, again, another lighthearted comedy. I love this film. Didn't do too well. It's kind of a campy, really campy, with John Ritter and Pam Dauber. Fun film, but the score is just as fun, and the themes they give the characters and the bad guy, and it's just something wonderful to listen to. Monster Squad, I don't know if anyone saw that. Love that. The monsters had a theme. Their adventures were hysterical, and the score is just incredible in terms of the full-out amount of music that was put into it. Lastly, I just want to give a quick shout-out to some other scores that are very, very well-known and wonderful to listen to. Terminator by Brad Fiedel, I believe is how he pronounces it. That movie is, of course, a landmark in terms of Arnold's career. But this score it's kind of electronic with orchestra, and Brad did an amazing job. Listen to it when you see the movie. If you get a chance to get the soundtrack, it's incredible. Thunderbirds, Barry Gray is one of my favorite British composers. He did Space 1999, all of the Gary Anderson shows that are out there. Thunderbirds, Supercar, all the marionettes and everything. But Barry Gray, especially Space 1999 score, is just incredible to listen to. Elmer Berstein, he's a legend. He's a music composer legend in Hollywood, starting way back in the 30s, all the way through the 50s. This is one of my favorite scores of his, The Ten Commandments. It's a great orchestral piece. You can hear the various themes of Moses and God. It's just a very powerful score. Switching kind of tones here, there's Dune, the original Dune, David Lynch film, whereby Toto, the rock group, Toto did the score. And you think, oh yeah, rock guitars, whatever. No, it's an orchestral score. The Worm has a theme. Atreides has a theme. The whole Witches, they have their theme. It's a really good orchestral score mixed in with all these themes that is robust and full and pretty impressive for a rock band to put that together. Doctor Who has several composers. This is David, I have no idea, I can't read it, Darlington. He did a series with the Peter Davisons for the Big Finish audio productions. They call them audio productions. And they're basically radio shows with sound effects and everything in the music. That's the score. This particular score is for the whole series of what is Peter Davison's adventures, and it's pretty incredible. Craig Chafin. Now, he's probably best known for the theme to Mission Impossible back in the 60s. Well, back in the, I think it's late 70s, maybe early 80s, they did this Remo Williams, The Adventure Begins. And what it was is basically they were trying to launch an American James Bond. Well, obviously that didn't work, but the score that he created for his adventure, his excitement, his theme, is really, really good. Something you would, off the wall you wouldn't think of. If you get a chance to see the film, you might enjoy it. It was, like I said, America's attempt to create a spy, James Bond kind of guy. But the theme he got was absolutely incredible. That's all I have. Like I said, I'm sorry I couldn't play some of these, my favorite tracks from these scores. They're incredible. All of them are. I have all of them. If you have any questions or comments, please let me know below. Most can be found on Amazon or eBay if they're discontinued. Or check YouTube. Sometimes people put up the whole album on YouTube. But yeah, they're incredible scores. Wonderful talent. Some still with us, some not with us anymore. But their legacy continues to go on, and hopefully I've shared that so you actually go out and listen to this stuff. If you're into music, if you're into orchestras, if you're into scores, or even if you're not, give it a chance. You may find a different side to yourself you didn't know you had. Anyway, hope you like this. Hopefully it wasn't too long. Like, subscribe, please share, hit the little bell to remind you when I have new videos popping up, and hopefully we'll see you next time. Thanks for watching. Again, I'm Lorenzo Marchessi with opinion, reviews, and commentary. Remember, these are mine and only mine. Hope you enjoyed it. See you next time. Bye-bye.